am Lakshman Singh Banath, lecturer in physics and working at Government Polytechnic, Medchal. Working at Government Polytechnic, Medchal. In previous class, we have been discussed about the property of matter. In this properties of matter, we have been discussed about the deformation, deforming force, rigid body, and property of elasticity, plasticity, and a definition of a surface tension and a strain, type of strain and stress, and we also discussed about the Hooke's law and defined modulus of elasticity. Those then depend on to the type of stress, then the type of strain we produces. Then we have defined three type of modulus of elasticity, like Young modulus, bulk modulus, and a rigidity modulus. And after that, we also discussed about the property of a liquid, like surface tension. In the surface tension, we have defined cohesive force, adhesive force, and a molecular range, sphere of influence, and we defined surface tension. And we have defined here examples of surface tension and formula for surface tension, SI unit of surface tension, and a dimensional formula of a surface tension. So in previous class, these are the topics we have covered, and we also covered the surface tension explanation based on the molecular theory, and explain surface tension based on the molecular theory, and we defined here angle of contact. So angle of contact are two types, when the angle of contact is obtuse angle and acute angle. So what happens when the angle of contact is obtuse, and what happens when the angle of contact is acute? So for pure solid and water like liquid, the angle of contact is 0. Then surface tension is defined. The formula for, and we have defined here capillarity. Also defined capillarity. So in this capillarity, what is the capillarity means? It is the action. It is a phenomenon. The phenomenon in which the phenomenon to rise or falls down the liquid in a when the capillary tube is immersed vertically in a big liquid. So 1 minute, I have to explain. And we defined here capillarity. The capillarity means the phenomenon in which the liquid level is depressed below or rises up when the capillary tube is dipped in a water vertically or in a liquid vertically. So due to the surface tension, the liquid is either rises up or depressed below, depend on to the angle of contact. If the angle of contact is less than 90 degrees, means a acute angle, then what happens means the liquid is rises up along the surface of a solid when it is dipped in a liquid. Means the surface of the liquid is becomes to curved and becomes to a convex. When the solid glass rod or plastic plate is dipped in a mercury. So mercury is a substance. It is a solid substance, but it is in the form of a liquid. Then the surface of the mercury is depressed below. Depressed below means surface is becomes to concave shaped. That surface is becomes to concave shaped surface. Then the angle of contact is becomes to obtuse angle, means it is greater than 90 degrees. So basically, what is the angle of contact means? It is the angle made by the. So generally, when a glass plate is dipped or immersed in a liquid vertically, then the surface of a liquid is becomes to curved at the surface becomes to curve. So just we have draw a one tangent along the curve, then The angle made by the tangent with respect to the glass rod inside the liquid or a solid material inside the liquid is called angle of contact. And we have defined here the example for capillarity. So capillary action means the phenomenon the liquid level is rises up or depressed below due to the surface tension when the capillary tube is dipped in a vertically in a liquid is called capillarity. This phenomenon is called capillarity or capillary action. So the example of capillary action are during the summer season we have to human being or we are wear a cotton cloth. So this cotton cloth having uneven number of pores. Every pore of the cloth acted as a capillary tube. So due to the capillarity, those pores of the cotton cloth can absorb the sweat from the skin. So a sponge can be remove the water or liquid from the floor. This sponge also having uneven number of pores. Every pore is acted as a capillarity. And the root can be allow the liquid to the plants. So these are the phenomenon of the capillarity. So also we have discussed the formula for capillarity. So the formula for surface tension based on the capillarity. So that is when consider a capillary tube of radius or length L and it is dipped in a liquid of density D in a container. Then due to the surface tension the liquid is rises up in a capillary tube through a height of h. Then the formula for surface tension T is equal to dgh into h plus r by 3 hrd or rdg into h plus r by 3 all divided by 2 cos theta. For pure water and liquid, the angle of contact is becomes to 0 degrees, then cos 0 is equal to 1, then the equation is becomes to, and where the radius of capillary tube is very small compared to height of a liquid inside the capillary tube. That's why the r by 3 is negligible. Then the equation is becomes to the surface tension T is equal to HRDG divided by 2, where h is the height of a liquid, r is the radius of a liquid, and g is the acceleration due to gravity, and d is the density of a liquid. So it is the formula for surface tension based on the capillarity or capillary action. So today we are going to discuss about the viscosity. So in this, on the completion of this period, we are able to understand concept of viscosity, examples of viscosity, and definition of viscosity. So generally viscosity means what happens. So generally the fluid, so what are the viscosity is one of the property of a fluid or one of the property of a liquid. One of the property of a liquid and fluid like gases and liquids. So fluids are gases and liquids. So viscosity is a molecular phenomenon. Viscosity is also called internal friction of a fluid or liquid and gases. Fluid like liquid and gases. Now a liquid flow under the pressure difference, because the fluid may be flow in two types. One is the laminar flow and turbulent flow. Then the property of the laminar flows or streamline flows are the flow must be a steady state flow, irrotational flow, and non-viscous flows is called laminar flow or steady state flows. Steady state flow means the velocity of a fluid at any point remains constant is called steady state, like streamline or laminar. And irrotational means when the fluid is flowing, during its flow the internal angular momentum, the net angular momentum of the fluid is equal to 0 is called irrotational flow. And viscous flows means the internal friction is negligible is called non-viscous force. So non-viscous and irrotational and steady state flows are the property of a laminar flow or streamline flow. But in the case of a turbulent flow, the turbulent flow is defined as the fluid must be flows non-steady state, rotational. Non-steady state means the velocity is different for different points during its flowing, and rotational means the net angular momentum is greater than 1, means is not equal to 0, and it must be must be have a internal friction. That's why these flows are called turbulent flow. These flows are called turbulent flows. When a fluid is flows each layer, so generally the fluid may be flows in a different kind of layer. When a liquid flows, each layer exert a force of dragging on internal neighboring layer. Generally, in the case of a laminar flow, turbulent flow, the fluid may be flows in different layers. So it is a turbulent flow. That's why it having a internal friction and it have a rotational. Rotational means due to the net angular momentum, the upper layer can be rotate, means the upper layer can be rotate in a clockwise direction. Then automatically the upper layer can be apply the opposite force on the lower layer of the flow, lower layer of the fluid. But the lower layer also rotate in a clockwise direction, but it can be apply the external and pushing forces on the upper layer of a body. That's why the upper layer can cause us to destroy the relative velocity of a lower layer, but the lower layer can apply the external force onto the upper layer, and it causes to increases in velocity of a upper layer. That's why the upper layer can be destroy the velocity of a lower layer by applying opposite force, resistance force and frictional force. That force is called that property of the applying opposite force on the lower layer of the fluid is called viscosity. Viscosity means it is the property of a fluid. Fluid means fluids are liquid and gases. A liquid is flows under the pressure difference. A liquid flows can be supposed to take place in the form of a layer. Generally, fluid may be flows in a different kind of layers. This is the main important point. A fluid is one of that flows. When a fluid flow, each layer exerts a force of the dragging on the neighboring layer. Generally, the dragging force depends upon the nature of the liquid and other factors. The dragging force opposes the relative motion between the two layers of the fluid. The tangential force is necessary to maintain the relative motion between the layer of a fluid and is called a viscosity. Already I have explained you. Generally, the fluid may be flows in a different kind of layer, and each layer, and if the means in this instant the fluid is flows, then what happens means due to the net angular momentum, the fluid can be flows in a can be rotates in a clockwise direction. Then automatically the upper layer is rotate in a clockwise direction, can apply the resistance force on the lower layer, and but lower layer can be apply the external force on the upper layer. Due to the pressure differences, the internal friction be present. That internal friction of the fluid is called viscosity. Generally, when a beaker is filled with a water and it rotated, the layer of the water at the center of the beaker rotate with a greater speed, but the layer of the water in a contact with the inner surface of the beaker attain minimum speed due to the pressure differences and the difference velocities of the different layers of the water are called viscosity, and this total phenomenon is occurs due to the friction. Generally, a stirrer can be rotate a water in a container. Then automatically we can left here the stirrer is rotate with a higher speed at a center of the container, but the top velocity is gradually decreases by increasing distance from the center into the edge of the container. Edge of the container means the fluid is rotate with a higher speed at a center and with a lower speed at the surface of a container. At the surface of a container means that velocity is gradually decreases by increasing distance from the center into the edges. It is one of the property and one of the example of a viscosity. The waves of water of a sea gets subsided near to the shore on the account of viscosity of water in a sea. Generally, see here the waves of a water of a sea gets subsided near the shore on the account of viscosity of a sea, and the raindrop during the rainfall reaches the surface of earth with a constant velocity called terminal velocity. This can be explained on the basis of viscosity of the medium. When a water in a container is rotated with the help of a stirrer or glass rod, at the center of the container, different layers of water attain different velocities. The layer of water in a contact with of a glass rod rotate with the greater speeds. The layer of the water in a contact with of the inner surface of a vessel rotate with a smaller speeds. It is the example for viscosity. Fourth example of a viscosity: when a water in a container is rotated with the help of a glass rod, at the center of the container different layers of water attain different velocities. The layer of water in a contact with the glass rod rotate with a greater speed. The layer of the water in a contact with the inner surface of a vessel rotate with a smaller velocity. It is mean. Already I explained you. So when a water in a container rotated with the help of a glass rod, at the center of the container different layers of water attain different velocities. Then the layer of the water in a contact with a glass rod rotated with a greater velocity, but the layer of the water in a contact with of inner surface of a vessel rotate with a lower velocity or smaller velocity. It is the example for viscosity. Generally, while a parachute, you already seen parachutes, falls from an aeroplane, he attains a constant velocity after some time, and he reaches the surface on the earth safely. This can be interpreted on the basis of viscosity property of the medium of air. Definition of viscosity is it is the property of a liquid by virtue of which the liquid offers resistance to the relative motion between its layer is defined as viscosity. So viscosity means it is the property of a fluid and property of a liquid and property of a gas, by virtue of which the liquid offers resistance force between the two different layers. resistance force between the two different layers of motion is called viscosity. It is the property of a liquid by virtue of which can be applied the internal resistance of a fluid in different layers, also called viscosity. It is also called viscosity. In this class we have learned concept of viscosity. Concept of viscosity means it is generally viscosity is the property of a fluid when the flows in a turbulent flow. The type of the flow is a turbulent flow. In the turbulent flow, the property of the liquids are the flow must be a non-steady state. The fluid flow must be a rotational and it must be a viscous. That's why we have defined here viscosity. Viscosity is the property of a fluid by virtue of which can be applied the internal resistance, internal frictional and opposite force can be applied between the two different kind of a layer of a fluid is called viscosity. Generally, viscosity is the property of a liquid or solid or electrons or protons, means it is the property of a fluid. Viscosity is a molecular phenomenon, not a gravitational phenomenon, atomic phenomenon, but it is the molecular phenomenon. Viscosity is also called internal resistance, internal friction or internal resistance. In maintain relative motion between the layer of a liquid, the forces is necessary, means the maintain relative motion between the layer of a liquid, the tangential forces be necessary. Okay, these are the viscosity, and we also going to explain. We are also going to explain, that is another topic. It is also property Newton formula for viscous force and a definition of coefficient of viscosity. So up to this class we have discussed the concept of viscosity, example of viscosity and a definition of viscosity. Generally, concept of viscosity is developed from turbulent flows, and we already seen the examples and a definition of viscosity all completed in this class. Now we are going to discuss on completion of this period also, and this also complete we are able to understand Newton formula for viscous force and definition of coefficient of viscosity. The flow of liquid broadly divided into two types. One is a streamline flow and a turbulent flow. Already explained to you. The flow of a liquid which can takes place regularly, and each of its particle move along the same path with the same velocity as its proceeding particle. It's called a streamline flow. Means the flow of a liquid which can takes place regularly and each of its particle moving along the same path with the same velocity as its proceeding particle is called a streamline flow. Means the velocity of the fluid at any point remains constant. It can be follow the same path is called a streamline flow. The flow of a liquid which can takes irregularly and the velocity of the each particle changes with time and place, and is defined as a turbulent flow. So now we are going to discuss explanation of a Newton formula for viscous force. Explanation of a Newton formula for viscous force. So generally, consider a liquid is flowing in a horizontal tube, and let the flow takes place at a steady rate on the surface of a ground. The flow is supposed to occur in the form of a parallel layer, and a different layer of liquids flows possesses different velocity. Why does the the layer can be follows is different velocity, means due to the rotational flow, due to the net angular momentum, the upper layer can be destroy the lower layer of velocity, but lower layer can be apply the external force on the upper layer and causes to increases in velocity of a upper layer. That's why the upper layer possesses with a higher speed, the upper layer can flows with a greater velocity compared to lower layer of velocity. The velocity of the layer in a contact with the ground is minimum generally, and the velocity of the layer at the top is maximum, and the velocity is gradually decreases by increasing depth, means the velocity is gradually increases by increasing height from the ground. So the velocity of the layer is decreases with a decreasing depth, means increasing depth. Decreasing depth, it is not necessary, it is not a correct way. So the velocity of the layer is gradually decreases by increasing depth from the top. So just consider a layer of liquid, layer 1 of liquid is flowing. The layer 1 try to increase the velocity of the bottom layer, and the layer of the liquid above the layer 1 try to increases in velocity of the layer 1. So the upper layer can be causes to decreases in velocity of a lower layer, and because of upper layer during its flowing, the upper layer rotate in a clockwise direction. Then the upper layer apply the resistance force on the lower layer. That's why the upper layer can decreases in velocity of a lower layer. As a result, by increasing depth, the velocity of the layers are gradually decreases, and at the depthest layer of velocity is considerably negligible, means it is at a rest position. That's why we feel at the depthest place the sensation of a coldness or coolness, because of the particles are remains same position through certain time period. That's why we have to feel a cool or such a cold sensation of a coldness. Okay, the layer of the liquid above the layer 1 tries to increases in velocity of a layer 1. The tendency is due to the cohesive forces between the molecules of the same liquid in the layers. Therefore, the force of resistance comes to play to oppose the relative motion between the successive layer of the fluid is called viscosity. The force of the resistance is called viscous force. The force of the resistance or the force of the dragging force is called viscous force. Generally, it appears that the external tangential force acts on the layer of a liquid flow to maintain relative motion between the layers. In the absence of the external tangential force, the liquid flows does not exist. The liquid flow gets prevented when no tangential force is on the layers. In order to overcome the shearing force and the maintain relative motion between the successive layer of the liquid flow, an external tangential force is essential. It is very important. So when there is no external tangential force, the velocity of the flow of a liquid decreases and finally becomes to zero. So for this purpose, we required a resistance force between the two different layers. The layer 1 is flows with a velocity of v. The layer above layer 1 flows with a velocity of v plus delta v. these two layers at a perpendicular distance x and x plus dx respectively from the bottom of the ground. Let F be the viscous force acting tangential on the layer to destroy the relative motion, and A is the capital A is the cross-sectional area of the liquid or flow. According to the Newton viscous force F1 acting on the layer of a liquid is, the viscous force is directly proportional to the cross-sectional area of a layer, and the viscous force is directly proportional to the differential velocity between them. Generally we have defined here one velocity gradient. One velocity gradient means how to define the velocity gradient means, generally the relative velocity between the two layers is called delta V, and the successive distance between the two layers is a delta x. That's why the ratio of the relative velocity into the successive distance between the two layers are called a velocity gradient. So according to the Newton's viscous force, the Newton force is directly proportional to the cross-sectional area of a layer, and Newton force is directly proportional to the velocity gradient, that is delta V by delta x. So F is proportional, the Newton force F is proportional to the A into delta V by delta x. Here delta V by delta x is called a velocity gradient. That's why we have defined here at the place of a proportional, we have to write it proportionality constant. That proportionality constant means F1 is equal to neta into A into delta V by delta x. So where neta is called a proportionality constant, and it is also called a coefficient of a viscosity. Coefficient of a viscosity. External tangential force, and equation 1 is called it is equation, so F1 is equal to neta A into delta V by delta x. It is the equation 1. Equation 1 is called Newton formula for viscous force, and it is the negative sign. So it is negative sign is defined here. F1 is the opposite force, like a dragging force of a liquid. When the external tangential force needed to maintain a relative velocity F is equal to minus F1, then F is equal to neta A into delta V by delta x, and neta is called a proportionality constant. It is also called a coefficient of viscosity. Coefficient of viscosity. And delta V by delta x is termed as a velocity gradient with its direction perpendicular to the direction of a flow, and this velocity gradient is defined as it is the ratio of a relative velocity between the two different layers into the successive distance between the two different layers is called velocity gradient. Right, this is the main important, just you have to note down. So according to the Newton's viscous force, Newton viscous force is directly proportional to the surface area of a layer, that is capital A. Newton force F1 is directly proportional to the velocity gradient. Right here, velocity gradient. Velocity gradient is defined as it is the ratio of relative velocity between two different layers into the successive distance between the two layers, delta x. So delta V is the relative velocity of two layers. Delta x is the successive distance between the two layers. Then F is proportional to the A into delta V by delta X. Then F1 is, but relative velocity is a negative. Then F1 is equal to minus of A into, F is equal to minus of neta into A into delta V by delta X, where minus is indicates F1 is the opposite force. For maintenance of a uniform maintenance of relative motion, maintenance of a relative motion, F1 is becomes to positive. That force is called a viscous force, that is capital F. Then capital F is equal to plus neta into A into delta V by delta X, where neta is called a proportionality constant, and it is also called a coefficient of viscosity. Coefficient of viscosity. Please note this. F1 is proportional to the A, F1 is proportional to the delta V, F1 is proportional to the 1 by delta X, F1 proportional to the A into delta V by delta X, and F1 is equal to neta into A into delta V by delta X. This is equation number 1. From this equation number 1, one minute. From equation number 1, F1 is opposite force, that's why we have to mention here negative sign. External force, tangential force is needed to maintain relative motion, that is F is equal to minus F1, and F is equal to neta into A into delta V by delta X, and neta is proportionality constant, is also called coefficient of viscosity of the liquid, and delta V by delta X is termed as velocity gradient with a different and with its direction is perpendicular to the direction of motion of a fluid. And definition of neta is equal to, generally by cross multiplication of this equation, F is equal to neta into A into delta V by delta X. Neta is equal to F divided by A, it is 1, and whole divided by delta V by delta X, that is F neta is equal to F by A into delta X by delta V. For by maintaining unit velocity gradient means relative motions are equal. For relative motion, for constant relative motion, if A is equal to 1, then delta V by delta X is equal to 1, then neta is equal to F. That is the tangential force required to act for unit area of a layer of a liquid flow maintain unit velocity gradient normal to the direction of flow is called coefficient of viscosity. So generally the coefficient of viscosity is simply definition. It is tangential viscous force per unit area by maintaining unit velocity gradient. Is called coefficient of viscosity. That is coefficient of viscosity neta is equal to F by A into delta V by delta X, but delta V by delta X is equal to 1 because of the fluid is maintains unit velocity gradient. That's why delta V by delta X is equal to 1, then neta is equal to F by A. So here F by A is also called coefficient of velocity, that is same as a stress or pressure. So that then the tangential stress experienced by a layer of a liquid flow in order to maintain unit velocity gradient normal to the direction of the flow is defined as the coefficient of viscosity. So the another statement of coefficient of viscosity is the tangential stress experienced by a layer of a liquid flow in order to maintain unit velocity gradient normal to the direction of the flow is defined as coefficient of viscosity. And where neta is a scalar quantity, because the neta is what? Coefficient of viscosity. It is a scalar quantity, and neta is also known as the coefficient of a dynamic viscosity of the liquid. And dimensional formula for viscosity, like coefficient of viscosity neta, is same as a stress and same as a pressure, that is m1 l minus 1 t minus 2. It is wrong. And CGS unit is poise, and SI unit is poise per second. And in this class we have to discuss, we have learned of the following: what are means, that is concept of viscosity, definition of viscosity, example of viscosity, SI, and Newton force, like Newton formula for viscous force, definition of a coefficient of viscosity, SI unit, dimensional formula of a viscosity, and coefficient of viscosity are discussed. Generally in this Newton formula for viscous force is minus neta into delta V by delta X. D is the option is correct. D is the option is correct. D for Delhi. And delta V by delta X is called, that is the velocity gradient. Velocity gradient, because of it is the ratio of a unit ratio of a relative velocity. Relative velocity means the difference of a velocity of the velocity difference of two layers. The velocity difference of two layers are called unit velocity. Relative velocity, sorry. The velocity difference of two layers are called relative velocity, and the successive distance between the two different layers is delta x. That's why delta V by delta x is called a ratio of a relative velocity into distance between the two, relative distance between the two layers is called a velocity gradient. That is option A is correct. The dimensional formula for neta is m1 l minus 1 t minus 1. m1 l minus 1 t minus 1. It is the correct. The SI unit of coefficient of viscosity is Poisson per second. So the frequently asked questions are: derive Newton formula for viscous force, define coefficient of viscosity, and state its SI unit and dimensional formula. And general questions are: a metal plate of area 0.004 meter square placed on the layer of a glycerin of a thickness of 2 millimeter. In order to move the plate horizontally with a velocity of 10 power minus 3 meter per second, calculate the magnitude of force to be applied. The neta is the glycerin is 20 Poisson per second. So this is the important question. You have to did this problem in at your home. Okay. So these are the today's class. Thank you one and all for your cooperation. In next class we have to discuss another lesson, that is heat and thermodynamic. So if we have to complete heat and thermodynamic, then the first semester portion will be had been completed. Okay, thank you. Time 45 minutes in the later. Okay. Okay, thank you.